Welcome back to another NFL Week 2. It is Week 2 of the NFL and our predictions. And I know what you're thinking. Really, we're doing this again. The views weren't... You didn't even crack 100 views on the last video. Well, I like doing these. I like doing these, and they're a fun video to talk about and something to, take a break from with comics. Anyway. So... I was wrong on a lot of them, but then again, Week 1 is very much like you can't really gauge a lot of teams from Week 1. Man, was I wrong on the Packers-Saints one. Man, that was something. Anyway, so now we're coming to Week 2. I don't think you can really gauge a team until, personally, I don't think you can gauge a team of where they're going until, Week 3 or 4. So the first 2 weeks are always the hardest one to really gauge how good of a team is. But let's play some football. So starting off, tomorrow's game is Washington taking on the New York Giants. The Giants really shit the bed against the Broncos. And Washington kept it close with an up-and-coming dark horse, I believe, Chargers team. That defense is going to give them fits, I think. But here's the thing. Giants have usually been very well against... Washington. I think they're 4-1 every time they faced, especially now with Daniel Jones, but I don't trust Daniel Jones still as a quarterback. I think this is going to be his last year as a New York Giant. But I just think that defense is just going to wreck them this time around. So I'm going to give this slightly to Washington, but these division games are hard to pick apart. So next we have I'm reading it from the phone. Anyway, so next up we have the Raiders and the Steelers. The Raiders pulled off a jaw-dropping win in probably the best game of Week 1 in the Raiders and Ravens game. Now, the Raiders, however, are kind of inconsistent. So are the Steelers. That's the thing, is that they pulled off an upset too against the Buffalo Bills. And both I still think that Steelers defense is fierce. But the Raiders have been, the thing is, I still can't really put a dot on if the Raiders are good or not. Because they'll have these flashes of, oh yeah, we're awesome, and then they're just so inconsistent. You also have to understand, they beat the Ravens. Yeah, it was a Ravens team wrecked by injuries, and more injuries to come. We'll get to the Ravens later. But yeah. This might be a toss-up, but I think I'm going to go, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the Steelers, on that defense alone. So I'm going to give that one to the Steelers. Could be wrong, that's a toss-up one. Now we move on to the 49ers and the Eagles. 49ers beat the shit out of the Falcons, which I was thinking the Falcons would win, but man, they really beat the shit out of the Falcons. But then again, it is the Falcons, so 49ers almost lost to the Lions at the last second, but I think it was because of just a few mistakes. But I think the 49ers are still a dominant force. Jalen Hurts, though, is a really good quarterback. He's fast on it. He's a fast dude. But I think 49ers are still a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to give this to the 49ers. So now we come to Texans and Browns. Texans, did you like that monumental win over the Jaguars? Did you like being the number 1 in the AFC South? Well, not only do you get... Here's your consolation prize, because you get the grand prize of going to Cleveland to get your ass stomped. And not just get your ass stomped by a very pissed off Cleveland Browns team who, in a close game, lost to the Chiefs. They're going to beat the shit out of you 8 ways till Sunday. So I'm giving this one to the Browns. Next up, we have the Broncos and the Jaguars. Jaguars, I have no faith. And Teddy Bridgewater played really good. This is another toss-up, but the Broncos beat the Giants, but I was like, it's the Giants. It's the Giants. So I'm going to give this one to the Broncos. I think Teddy Bridgewater's been a good force, and I still don't trust Urban Meyer as a head coach. Yeah. Now we come to an NFC South divisional game between the Saints and the Panthers. Holy shit. Everyone just wrote off the Saints after Drew Brees left, and it's like, oh, you don't have Drew Brees, you have famous Jameis and his Apple turnovers. You have a salary cap, you're going to get your ass kicked by the Packers and a very pissed off Aaron Rodgers. That didn't happen. Now, again, week ones are always, like I said, week one games are always the hardest to really think on. Okay, that's where the team's going. This is where the team's going, and both teams are 1-1. But then again, the Panthers in a struggling game beat the Jets. The Saints, however, pummeled the Packers. Now Jameis Winston only threw one interception that didn't get called because of a foul, but Jameis Winston, shadowing Drew Brees, clearly paid off, and the LASIK surgery too. So, I think Carolina is a sleeper team in some cases, but I think I'm going to give this one to the Saints. I just think the Saints are just going to wreck house with the Panthers. Now we come to the Rams and the Colts. The Rams played really damn good against the Bears. Matt Stafford, this is the Matt Stafford we always wanted to see when he was with the Lions. But now he's with a good team. The Rams clearly got what they wanted when they traded for Stafford. The Colts were fine, but they're AFC South. I can't root for them. They do have a really good defense, and they gave the Seahawks some fits. But I think I was very impressed by the Rams in this game, so I am going to give this one to the Rams. Next up we got two back-to-back AFC East divisional games. First one is Bills and Dolphins. Dolphins pulled off the upset win by 1 point against Bill Belichick's Patriots, while the Browns have a shocking upset loss to the Steelers. Now, this is a very toss-up game. Both the Dolphins and the Bills I think they're gonna be the two titans of the AFC East. And this is gonna be a tough one, because like I said, week one's always hard to decide where these teams are going in divisional wise, and this is gonna be a tough divisional game. This is one I really can't pick. I want to say Dolphins, but then again, the Bills might be, coming off that loss and looking to make a statement, especially against a divisional rival. So, I want to say Bills. There's a part of me that says Bills. I think I'm going to go with the Bills, but I could be totally wrong here. And speaking of the Patriots, they're going to be playing the Jets, a.k.a. the biannual Boston teabagging of the New York Jets. Jets, I know that was a tough loss against your former QB Sam Darnold and the Panthers, but now you get to have a worse time, and that worst time is getting furiously pummeled into the ground by the Patriots. And not just any Patriots, a Patriots team that lost by a point to the Dolphins. They are going to salt the earth on the Jets. Oh, Lord. You think Bill Belichick's just gonna let you may be thinking, oh, but they almost beat the Jets last time in a Monday night game. Yeah, almost. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but it's the Patriots. Moving on now to the Bengals and the Bears. Joe Burrow pulled off a great win against the Vikings. In an overtime game against the Vikings, I really enjoyed that. It was nice to see Joe Burrow get a win after the devastating injury he suffered. But the Bears are going to be a dangerous foe for them. I'm still not fully convinced that the Bengals are going to be a competitive team. I do think they're going to give the Bears some fits, especially that Bears offense. But that Bears defense is going to crush that offensive line to a devastating extent. So I'm going to give this one to the Bears. Next up, we have the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Falcons, you are a dead bird. You are a very dead bird. This isn't even going to be. I don't like. Even if you do have a high scoring game, you're just going to choke the game away anyway. So I'm giving this one to the Buccaneers. Fucking Tom Brady, I swear. Next up, we have the Vikings and the Cardinals. Now, the Vikings, I still have no faith in. I really don't have after losing the Bengals in overtime and some really dumb mistakes in that game, and the Cardinals played really damn good against my Titans. I thought we had it. Why the fuck? What was that game? What was that game, guys? So, I just think the NFC West, I've said it before, the NFC West is going to be that team to beat, in not just the NFC, but in the entire league in general. So I'm going to give this one to the Cardinals. Next up, we have my Tennessee Titans taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I didn't like losing to a team I thought we could beat. How do you think we're going to deal against the Seahawks? Now, the Seahawks do have some questions on that O-line and D-line I saw in the Colts game, but what was that game? I didn't even think you guys could beat the Seahawks before, but lost to the Cardinals, a team you had lock? I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to, I have to give this one to the Seahawks. I hate... my team's going to be 2-0 for the starter. Jesus fucking Christ. So, now we come to... Now, this is a game I'm really interested in. The Cowboys and the Chargers. Even though the Cowboys lost, they played a really damn good game against the Buccaneers. Now, is that because Tom Brady... the Buccaneers played that bad? Or is it because the Cowboys played that good? I'm leaning towards the latter than the former. And the Chargers are a really dark horse game. I think Justin Herbert and that offense and defense are really growing. So this is another toss-up game for me. This is like the Bills and Dolphins game where I was like, I really don't know who could really win this game. It's a really good this is going to be a really good back and forth. So, it's a coin toss. But I think I'm going to give it slightly to the Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott and that offense and all the weapons he has is going to prove to be just a powerhouse. But I could easily see the swinging in the Chargers' favor as well. So, moving on, we have for our Monday night game, we have none other than the Chiefs and the Ravens. Now, a few weeks ago, I would have said this is going to be a great game to cap off, to be a Sunday night game. I can't wait because the Chiefs and Ravens always have a great game. Yeah, that's not going to happen. After what I saw with the Raiders game, and plus with the amount with J.K. Dobbins out, and you had all these other injuries throughout the entire preseason and training camp, now don't get me wrong. I do think the Ravens... There's always a chance the Ravens could pull off a surprise, but you got Patrick Mahomes there. You have got a very powerful offense and defense on the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes is a freak of nature. So, and the Ravens are just littered they're going to win the injury award. I just know it. I feel bad for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. So, I'm giving this to the Chiefs. I do think the Ravens might put up a fight, but I just don't see them. Putting up that much of a challenge, sadly. So, moving on to our final game of the week, and that is the Lions and the Packers. Now, the entire NFC North is just, it's all basement. It's all 0-1. And the Lions almost pulled off the upset against the 49ers, but I think that was because of just a few mistakes on the 49ers than it was the Lions playing that good. But the Packers, what the fuck? What the great good fuck was that, Rodgers? I understand that you can't really tie down a game by one game, but that was embarrassing. I don't know if that's just because the team hasn't really got to train together, or this offset stuff with Rodgers in the front office of the Packers. I don't know. But, that beating from the Saints was embarrassing. So, I'm not going to give this to the Lions, though. I do think that the Packers might... Now, if they lose to this game, I'm going to have some real questions. But the Lions... I don't think it was because... I think it was just a few mistakes on the 49ers part, on the part of the 49ers, than it was the Lions changing up their game and whatnot. So I'm going to give this to the Packers, but I will say this. If the Packers lose this game, then hit the panic button, cheeseheads. I'm just saying. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below if anyone's a football fan out here. Let me know your predictions. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.